Welcome back to ASVAB Mentor. You're doing great so far. And now it's time to explore three major areas that often show up on the general science part of the NCVB: earth science, chemistry, and physics. These 20 questions are made to be clear, beginner-friendly, and fully explained so that anyone can understand them, no matter your background. Earth Science 1. What is the layer of gases that surrounds the Earth called? It's called the atmosphere. Explanation. The atmosphere is like a giant blanket of air that protects Earth, gives us oxygen to breathe, and helps control temperature. 2. What natural source causes earthquakes? Earthquakes happen when tectonic plates under the ground move. Explanation. The Earth's crust is made of big plates that sometimes shift or slide past each other. When they suddenly move, it causes an earthquake. 3. What is the hot melted rock under Earth's surface called? It's called magma. Explanation. Magma is super hot rock that's found deep underground. If it comes out during a volcano eruption, we call it lava. 4. What do we call water that falls from the sky, like rain or snow? What is the process where water from lakes or oceans turns into vapor and goes into the air? That's called precipitation. Explanation. Precipitation includes all forms of water that fall from clouds, rain, snow, sleet, or hail. 5. That's called evaporation. Explanation. When the sun heats up water, it slowly changes from liquid into a gas and rises into the sky to form clouds. 6. What is the soft, loose upper layer of Earth where plants grow? That's called soil. Explanation. Soil is made of tiny pieces of rock and dead plants. It holds nutrients and water for plants to grow in. 7. What is the name of the giant spinning storm that forms over warm ocean water? It's called a hurricane. They usually happen in tropical areas and can cause a lot of damage. Explanation. Hurricanes are powerful storms with strong winds and heavy rain. Chemistry. 8. What is everything around us made of? Whether it's solid, liquid, or gas, everything is made of matter. Explanation. Matter is anything that takes up space and has weight like air, water, a book, or even your hand. 9. What do we call the smallest unit of matter? That's called an atom. Explanation. Atoms are like the tiny building blocks that make up everything in the universe, including you. 10. What's the center of an atom called? It's called the nucleus. Explanation. The nucleus sits in the middle of the atom and holds protons and neutrons. 11. What happens when you mix an acid and a base? They react and usually make salt and water. Explanation. Mixing an acid like vinegar and a base like baking soda causes bubbling and a chemical reaction. That's chemistry in action. 12. What is a chemical symbol? It's a 1 or 2 letter short form used to represent an element. Explanation. For example, H is hydrogen, O is oxygen, and Fe is iron. The periodic table is full of these symbols. 13. What does a chemical change do to a substance? It changes what the substance is made of forever. Explanation. Burning paper is a chemical change. You can't turn it back into paper. Melting ice is not chemical, just physical. 14. What do we call a mixture where one thing is dissolved into another, like salt and water? That's called a solution. Explanation. In a solution, like lemonade or salt water, the solid disappears into the liquid and spreads out evenly. Physics 15. What force slows things down when they rub against each other? That's called friction. Explanation. If you slide a book across a table, friction between the book and the table slows it down and stops it. 16. What kind of energy does a moving object have? It has kinetic energy. Explanation. Kinetic means motion. Anything that moves a ball, a car, a person has this kind of energy. 17. What kind of energy is stored and ready to be used, like in a stretched rubber band? That's potential energy. Explanation: it's energy that's waiting. When you let go of the stretched rubber band, it turns into kinetic energy. 18. What tool can you use to see which direction magnetic north is? That's a compass. Explanation: a compass needle always points toward the Earth's magnetic north pole, helping you figure out where you are. 19. What is light made of, waves, particles, or both? In space, it's totally silent because there's nothing to carry the sound. Light is made of both waves and particles. Explanation: light acts like a wave when it travels and like tiny particles when it hits something. Weird but true. 20. What happens to sound in space? Sound cannot travel in space because there's no air or medium. Explanation: sound needs air or something to travel through. You're one step closer to ASVAB success. Now you've completed part 3 of your general science training with ASVAB mentor and V covered. Key concepts in earth science, chemistry, and physics in a way that was easy to understand. These are the kinds of questions that really show up on the ASVAB. But now you've got the clear explanations to help you lock them in.